All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of the 10 Talk Show podcast. My name is Muhammad Ali, presented to you by MA10. And we got an exciting video in front of us, guys, because Premier League match week 6, full of upsets, a lot of joy for Arsenal. So always happy to talk about that. Fantasy Premier League, we're going to talk about how my team fared there, how your teams are doing in there. I would like to know in the comments. We're going to talk about William Saliba committing his long-term future at Arsenal, rejecting Real Madrid. Big news, that one. Talking about big news, Sergio Busquets announces his retirement from football. The last dance of a midfield general. Sir, you have served us well. We're going to talk about stadium development. Teams all over the world are improving, renovating, expanding, or building new facilities for their teams. We're going to touch that for a second. And then, of course, we're also going to talk about another sport, cricket to be specific. And when we talk cricket, you have to talk India, Pakistan. A lot of controversy there over the weekend as well. So let's get into the video, guys. And before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, htown.ref, if you don't know already. And let's not wait more, guys, and let's get right into the video. Now, Premier League match week 6. A lot of upsets, and I am glad because we needed that. Starting off with Brentford versus Manchester United. Now, I don't think anybody actually thought that United would be a favorite to go to Brentford now, because Brentford at home are a very good team, and they showed that 3-1 beating Man United. And I definitely need to make a whole Manchester United video separately, so we're going to move on from Man United right now. Right over to Chelsea, who also lose 3-1 at home to Brighton. There was a whole fight and a brawl breaking out, I think, between Moises Caicedo and his former teammates. And Chelsea are down to 10 men in this game, and they lose 3-1 to Brighton. I couldn't be more happier. But talking about my happiness, we have to talk about Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Now, guys, you know I do the VAR weekend reviews, so we're going to look at the decisions in a bigger magnifying glass in a separate video. Mo Salah high-fiving the ball over there. We're going to talk about that. But your defense is in trouble, and Nketiah's in the room. Eddie Nketiah, Arsene Wenger, you have done it again. Gets a late winner for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace now, I think, unbeaten against Liverpool in the last 3 meetings, and I think they're the only team who are also unbeaten in the Premier League. Yes, they are on number 3rd right now, Crystal Palace, and very, very well deserved. Manchester City blowing out Burnley 5-1, not a big surprise over there. And then Tottenham drawing against Wolves. Now, Spurs scoring a late equalizer. Paulinho takes his shirt off, celebrates like he has won a trophy, celebrating a draw against Wolves. If it were Arsenal, people are going mental right now. So Spurs doing that, I guess not that big of a problem. And then, of course, Newcastle versus Arsenal, Super Sunday. No doubt, and the game lived up to the hype. A lot of controversy there. St. James's Park always makes the game a little bit more intense than it needs to be. I mean, but that's football. That's why we love the game. And that was another great result for Arsenal. Very much needed, because all the rivals had dropped points, especially Liverpool, and Arsenal are now 2 points off the top, and I couldn't be more happier. And now we're going to move on to the Fantasy Premier League. Now, the leagues that I'm in, I am doing fantastic. Right on top. 77 points for me this game week. I got Kelleher in goal. I got Gabriel in the back. Big Gabby, of course. Mickey van der Ven is also part of my team. Marcus Gahey, if you guys don't have Marcus Gahey in your team, you are missing out. Every Premier League season, this guy is a very consistent defender in terms of points. Mohamed Salah, in terms of consistency in the Fantasy Premier League, this season is just not doing it. Another 2-point week for Salah. Need to think about it, because that 14.5 mil price tag is steep. We're going to talk about Then we also have Tijani Reindeers and Eze both giving me 2 points each. Maybe both could have done a little bit more seeing the results that the teams got. Dewsbury Hall still to play his game, so I still can have a little bit more points than I have right now. And Antoine Semenyo, somebody that I wanted in my team in the start. I ended up going with Ismail Assar, which was not a bad decision. But Semenyo back into my team and gives me 7 points. And then captain Erling Haaland. A lot of people use triple captain this game week, and they were not wrong. They got some good results off of it. 2 goals and an assist for Haaland. And then Victor Gyökeres is my striker alongside Haaland, giving me 2 points. I'm not going to lie. I think Victor Gyökeres and Mo Salah are the 2 players now I'm looking at in my fantasy team in terms of points, if they could do better or not. But like I said, I'm on top of my leagues. I'm on top of the table. I'm happy with that. Let me know what you guys are doing in the fantasy right now. All right, so now it's official, guys. William Saliba has signed a 5-year contract at Arsenal. Probably he will be among the top earners at the club as well. The figure hasn't been confirmed yet, but it has to be. Now he has on £190,000 per week. That's his current salary. Well, now that must have been upgraded to at least somewhere between 250 to 300,000 pounds. That's what it takes to commit the best defender in the world. And if you guys don't think he is the best defender in the world, well, that's definitely your bias against Arsenal, that's for sure, because Real Madrid for the past 2 years have been drooling over Saliba. They have been trying to put it in his mind. Fabrizio Romano, I think, gets a solid stack from Madrid to unsettle Saliba every week. He posts like 5 times a week about how Real Madrid is interested in William Saliba. And where it started from, I think for me, it was like 2-3 years ago when Saliba signed his 4-year contract, and I was not happy because I know a 4-year contract means that after 2 years, you're again on the table, you're again unsettled, and if everything is not going well, the player could end up not signing a contract, then going into the final year of his contract, and then poachers like Real Madrid could come in and maybe make those free deals, or maybe give you 30-40 mil for a £100 million player. But Arsenal and Ander Berta, man, what a job this guy has done. And he now has successfully committed William Saliba to a 5-year contract at Arsenal. And the Rolls-Royce defender stays in the Premier League and stays in the red and white. So I couldn't be more happier, guys. Obviously, now, the news that we're going to touch on next. Sergio Busquets. A midfielder like none other. I think no one in the modern day of football can dominate a game like this guy does. The silent domination. Let me put that in there. If anybody would ask me the most underrated player of all time, Sergio Busquets is always my answer. And why I'm saying that is this, because you'll look at combined 11s and all this and that, and you see all these flashy players. In England, you'll hear Gerrard, and then you'll hear Zidane and all this and that. Busquets never makes those teams for some reason, but this guy is the epitome of how you play a central midfielder and how you control the game by being just an amazing player in terms of your positional play, in terms of your timing, in terms of how you sort of see the game, how you view the players around you. It's just unique, and it's a dying breed of football. And what I would love to see is more players coming in like him. But the new modern day football, I think the 6 is more of a box to box. They're not as intelligent with their positioning and with the ball at their feet. And Busquets retiring, sir, you have done us a massive service. It was very entertaining to see this guy play football, and now he is announcing his retirement at the end of the 2025 MLS season. Good luck, Sergio Busquets. And now, guys, we're gonna move on to our next topic of the video, which is redevelopment or development of stadiums and infrastructures of football. Now, a lot of teams over the past few years have made it their focus to improve match day quality, to put it simply, because if you go 20 years back, or maybe a little bit more than that, 30, 40 years back, stadiums and your ticket sales was one of the biggest ways that a club makes their money. And then comes in the TV deals, which flush so much money, especially in the Premier League. The TV deals were huge in terms of giving the clubs the level that they are at right now. And after the TV deals have sort of normalized, we started seeing the demand of match day experiences of being very good as well, because global fans, tourist fans coming from all over the world. Obviously, in this age where everybody's so connected, people are coming from all over the world trying to see their favorite teams, and the infrastructure, the real estate, basically, of football is now more important than ever. Barcelona's Camp Nou still under development. Laporta might say that we were ready to move there next week, but we could maybe even see another year of Barcelona not moving back to the Camp Nou. So no changes over there. A big news coming from Manchester United and their stadium plans, because we've already seen their new training facility. It was, to be honest, really, really nice. But United released a really bold design for their new stadium, the three trident of the devil sort of representing their logo. And I think whatever people, some call it a circus, some called it really, really threatening and dominating and really bold. I think it was definitely unique, United Stadium. And now they've announced that they have scrapped that little trident design, and it's going to be a much more traditional looking stadium, because that little trident is going to just cost 200 to 300 million to build. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe, knowing that it's coming out of his pocket, is like, nah, I don't want to do that. And I think they have now scrapped that look at all. But I think in his vision of United having one of the most iconic stadiums, I think that trident helped in doing that. But happy to see what United fans think. Did you guys like that? That really unique, really bold design, or would you guys prefer a much more traditional stadium look? Let me know in the comments, guys. I would like to know. All right, and now, finally, all right, so we're going to talk about cricket. We're going to touch a little bit on cricket, guys. The baseball of the rest of the world is how I also say it over here in America. But India versus Pakistan, if you're not already aware of the lore between these two countries, two neighbors who are very, very, are at very, very, tough terms with each other always. And right now the tensions are super high, and that always transfers over to the game of cricket. But now, before, cricket used to be a much more relaxed and a much more a much more respectful game. Now India, because of the billion people population and the interest that it has in cricket, they control cricket. They have a monopoly on cricket. I think nobody would disagree with that. And India uses cricket as a tool to sort of, give a blow to Pakistan whenever they can. And because of the political tensions being on an all-time high between India and Pakistan, a lot of things happen in the game, in the Asia Cup final and the Asia Cup tournament on its own, that have never been seen before. Starting off with, it's customary between the two captains of the cricket team to shake hands after the toss and just, show a little bit of respect on the field and just go about their business after that. India refused to shake hands with the Pakistani team before the game, and this was the second game of the tournament. And then after the game, when they beat Pakistan, they've actually beaten Pakistan in all the games. But when they beat them, they all just went to their locker rooms, refused to shake hands. And in the final, they basically didn't even address the other team. So it was basically India just talking to an Indian and a Pakistani just talking to a Pakistani live on television. This is happening all live. The whole world is looking at that. This that politics has been sort of just stuffed into sports, and India, because they control cricket, can get away with it as much as they like, because it was really, really sad to see, politics affecting a game of cricket that much, affecting a sport, essentially that much. So it was sad to see that. But at the end of the day, India won the tournament. They're champions of Asia. Very well deserved as well, I have to say, because they are no doubt the best team in Asia. There's no doubt about that. And another thing that they have done that has never happened before is that they celebrated without the trophy, because the Asian cricket chairman is a Pakistani, and he was going to present the trophy to India. Now, India is like, we don't want the trophy from you. And the Pakistani doubles down on his end. He's like, okay, if you don't want a trophy from me, I'm the chairman of this entire tournament, then you can go on and celebrate without the trophy, because I'm not going to give you the trophy if you don't want it from me. So it's, at the end of the day, India celebrated their tournament win without a trophy. And they, it's basically, I've made a lot of videos about it before as well, that sports and politics, never a good mixture. And, I'll be fair here, that, even though India is no doubt the best cricketing team in Asia, and they're definitely miles better than Pakistan, but they have really used their power in cricket to sort of send a political message, and I don't think the field is the place for that. But it was still entertaining to look at, and let me know what you guys think about that, if you guys have sort of followed the lore between India and Pakistan. But yeah, guys, that's basically it from this weekend's video. Let me know what you guys think. Please put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about what we have talked about this week. And we're going to keep on continuing this process, guys. This is the first podcast that I've sort of recorded, and we're going to keep on bringing them to you. VAR Weekend Review is going to come very, very soon as well. At the end of the day, guys, all I can ask for is please do like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Put your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a good one.